Yes, here in the creation station, here in Bali. Wow, I'm really nervous posting this video. Like, I've already edited the video. It's already edited raw. I was gonna cut some parts out, but I'm like, I'm gonna let this entire rant go. I get so many questions. People always ask me, hey, I'm from here, I'm Black. What was your experience here? So what I want to do is really clarify my experience, first of all, so people understand and you have a broader perspective and give context on who I am traveling the world. And second, I've created a group. I don't know if I've called it BIPOC or traveling while, I can't think of what it is. I think it'll be maybe BIPOC spiritual nomads or something. It's linked below in the description below. So after this video, if this appeals to you, please, it's a private group, but I want to create a safe space, safe community for you to talk to other travelers like you who are trying to figure out or are scared or are worried. So first of all, I hope this video really clears things up for you. And second of all, join the group, introduce yourself, let us know who you are, and hopefully I have more videos in this group, so it's not on this channel, that will really help empower some of you all to go out, push your comfort zones, even though I know you might be scared. So yeah, nervous making this video, but enjoy it. This is my experience that I've had while traveling Black and being Black while traveling around the world. And yeah, this is through my eyes, through my experience, through my eyes and through my experience. So yeah, let's get started with the vlog, and I'll see you guys. Good morning, good afternoon from here in Bali. And today I'm actually heading to the beach right now. A lot of people ask me if the beach is open. I believe the beach is open. It's really weird. They're open sometimes they're closed. But I believe this one, I think it might be open. And just thought that I would talk about something that I get asked a lot in the vlog. Hey, the beach. Okay. Makasih. Oh wow, so actually the beach is actually open right now. I thought they would be closed. But something I want to talk about. I get asked a lot about this, and finally to clear it up. Being Black while traveling overseas. And please understand, when I say overseas, I've kind of been everywhere. People always ask me how many countries I've been to. I don't know. I remember I was trying to keep count, and I remember I was at like 30. I remember I got to 30, and I was like, why am I counting how many countries I go to? It's not about how many countries I've been to. It was more about other things. It was more about the sunsets that I've seen, the friendships that I've made, and by having this like tally and checklist, I was losing parts of the important part of traveling, which is the experience itself, not how many countries you've been to. And I think that what you're about to hear me say is a lot different from what a lot of other people might be saying while traveling while Black, and I think that's because I have a very different experience. As you guys, maybe you know or you don't know, the last 12 years, up until this last 14 months that I've been traveling, I was playing pro athlete. So when I was arriving in countries, I was there to play for their country. I was there to play for their team, their city. So I was treated with a different kind of respect where if I had just been a traveler. Now, the second thing you guys should definitely know about me is that in my playing in season, now a couple kilos heavier, but I'm like 2 meters 220 kilos, which is like 6'8", 265, 270 pounds. So the way people treat me is a lot different because of that. That plays a big role in who I am. That plays a big role in how I'm treated. And I'm always smiling, I'm always outgoing, so it kind of throws people off like it's a scary big guy. And then they see me and I'm actually super friendly, super open. So many of you guys have come up and talked to me, and you guys have been shocked, like, oh wow, you are kind of how you are in real life. Like, yep, that's me. So traveling overseas for me has been always fun. And one thing that people always ask is, hey Luke, is it easier traveling overseas? Do you feel better in your home city? I'm from America, and honestly, I feel better traveling in anywhere else outside of America. You could drop me off at a bus station in Ukraine and I'd feel more comfortable, if that makes sense and puts things into perspective. So I haven't really dealt with a lot of craziness, and actually it might go up here. By the way, this is Bali, the beach is in Bali. So actually, for like my experience, I haven't had any really horrible moments that people always ask. For me personally, when I've been overseas, whether that's in Eastern Europe, whether that's in Montenegro, as I can remember, kind of middle Central Europe, or I've been Poland, Central Europe, or in France, I've always felt one thing people need to realize, it is how you choose to look at things in your mind that dictates a lot. You know, everywhere I go, people are always staring at me all the time. Any of you all who have met me in real life, any of you guys who have seen me probably the first time in real life, yeah, a lot of people look all the time, and that was something I had to get used to, and I had to learn to understand that people aren't looking at me because something's wrong with me or I'm out of, like in a negative way. So my mindset was never that. If someone would tell me, hey, you're black, when you go there, people are gonna look at you and they're gonna hate you. If that would have been my mindset, I never would have been able to go anywhere. Never would have went to Poland, never would have went to Ukraine, never would have went to Latvia, I never would have went to Montenegro, I would never would have went to any of these places, because I would have been so worried about what other people think. And actually, we're gonna walk in the water. Because I would have been so worried about what other people think. So what I ended up having to do is change my mindset to like, people are just curious. People are like super, super curious. So whenever I went somewhere, I'm like, well, people are staring at me because they've never seen probably someone as big as I am, who looks like I do, carries around this big camera. So that was a huge part of it. And when I had that mindset, people really looked at me, and it changed the way that I went about going traveling places, my mindset. So many people, I get messaged so much. People are coming to me like, Luke, I'm worried to go here. Like, the number one thing I'm emailed and questioned about are people trying to go to Poland who want to move to Poland. People from, I've gotten all kinds of different nationalities that have reached out to me like, hey, how are they treating people who don't look like them? How are they treating black people? And my experience is, I wouldn't tell you guys to go to these places if I felt uncomfortable. If I didn't feel like this is a cool place to visit, you guys should go, I would never suggest it to you guys, ever. Every place that I've went, people look at me and they're just curious so many times. And maybe they're not, maybe they think something horrible, but because my mindset is like they're curious, it changes the way that I go about treating them and talking to them and perceiving those looks that people give me. Like I say, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm in Poland, for example, and I sit down, or I'm in Ukraine, or I'm in Eastern Europe and I sit down and I see like a black person walk by me, I'm staring at them too. I'm staring at them too, like, yo, what are you doing here? Like, how'd you find out about this place? What's going on? And that's just that's just honest, and it's not a bad thing. Like, so many people look at it as a bad thing, and it's something that's it's so much of your mindset, how you look at things. So for me, I've always felt more comfortable. I felt more comfortable outside of America, but I felt more comfortable just traveling in general. For me, in my mind, in my mindset, it's given me an advantage looking how I look, being black, obviously. It's given me an advantage. People are more curious, which makes it so much easier to meet people when I'm traveling, because if I'm walking through Ukraine and I'm the only big black guy that's there that I see, and I see someone or people I want to talk to, they're so curious at why I'm there. And it's obvious I'm not from there. It's obvious that that I don't live there, and they're just super curious, which has made opening up and meeting people so easy. So many times you meet people in the vlog, so many times these people have come to me like, what are you doing here? Like, when I'm in Poland, which is, I bring this up the most because millions of you have watched those videos, people are always like, why are you in Poland? Because they're just curious. They're not in a hostile way. It's so much of a mindset. And like I say, I've always come, and my previous experiences traveling, I've always been treated as an athlete. Even if I haven't been playing for that city and I happen to be visiting that city, because of my size, because of my frame, people assume that I'm playing for their city. So there's a side of respect, which I always tell people to take that into consideration, because that's a big part of me, and that is much different than someone else's experience who obviously maybe doesn't play a sport, and they might have a different experience than I do. But that's something that I wanted to just share with you guys, because I think that people are always asking me, and I don't really have problems. And I will also admit that I am American. I'm American, and it's nothing against any other culture or anywhere else in the world. But being an American, when I've arrived in countries and I've showed my American passport, I've seen people's looks change. When I've told people, oh, I'm American, their looks change. And I will admit that, and I don't think that's fair. And that's one of the reasons why when you guys hear in the vlog me saying, oh, this is just, I'm from the world. Because I hate being categorized as that. Like, you're an American, so, oh, you're okay with us, you're cool. So many places that I've went to, they've looked at me like, oh, he's fine, he's not gonna do anything wrong here. Because of just that status. So that's something also to take in consideration. But overall, I've had like an amazing time traveling. The fact that I stand out, like I say, I've always used that to my advantage. So look at this beach in Bali. They never show you this. They show you this, but they don't show you this. But I'm gonna sit in the shade, guys. I'm super hot. But one thing that I will share with you guys is always when I've been traveling overseas, I've always felt as being black, as for me, as because it's so different, I've reframed my mind to look at it as there's not a lot of people who look like me. It's gonna be pretty easy to meet people. And because I have that approach, the energy that I have when I go up and talk to people, the energy that I have when I interact with people is different. If I had been like everyone staring at me, I can remember being in Montenegro and everyone just stared at me like I've never been stared at in my life. And I remember being in a bakery and I was standing in the bakery ordering some food, and this lady came up and was ordering next to me, and her son just touched my leg. And it was kind of weird, and I didn't say anything. I just kind of moved to the side a little bit and I ordered my burek, and I stood there another 25 seconds waiting for them to wrap it up, and this kid came and touched my hand. And the mother came over and apologized, like, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, the kids seem friendly. And she came up and she said, you know, I'm sorry, he's never seen a black person before. And you know, it was that moment when I was just like, wow, I've been perceiving so many things the wrong way. And because of that, if I keep perceiving it as everyone stares at me because everyone hates me, then having that mentality, you're gonna show it. That energy is gonna show, and that's gonna make a big difference. For me, it's like, this is me. If you don't like me, whatever, you can stare at me, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care, it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna enjoy the country and the right people will come up. There's been so many times I've been eating by myself, the small cities in Latvia, going through Ukraine and Ivano-Frankivsk. I remember this small city, Ivano-Frankivsk, next to Lviv, and like everyone was looking at me, and the kids came up to me and talked to me. The police would walk by and kind of look at me and never bother me though. And I remember so many times it was like this, and so many of my trips, so many of my travels was like this. And the biggest thing, you know, if you happen to be someone who's black and watching this and wondering about traveling, if you can change your mindset to like, oh, they hate me, this is why they're staring at me, to wow, they've probably never seen anyone like me before and they're just super curious and this is why they're staring at me. That little shift in your mindset and in my mindset changed a lot of my travels. It made me not be scared to go places, because I was like really scared going places. My first time wanting to go to Poland, I was so scared. It's why I feel for everyone who writes me, because I've heard, all you do is hear. You don't even know who told you, but you heard it somewhere. That, oh, I'm gonna be treated wrong, people are gonna look at me horrible. And I just took that risk one time and said, with these people who invited me to Poland, and I'll probably maybe link that video here if I have it, or I'll link it below. And they invited me to Poland. I was like, wait, they invited me to Poland? They took me around, they showed me around, and I'm like, I think I was the only, this was like 7 years ago, and I think I was the only black person I saw the entire week and a half I was in Poland. And I just remember like, wow, people were just so curious. People were so nice. Like, I was sometimes the only black person or the only American that they had met before. And I remember just feeling I was so shocked, because I had looked at this place so bad, and because of what I heard about it. So when I got there, I was ready for people to come up and fight me. I was ready for people to throw stuff at me when I was walking. And I'm just like, people walked at me and smiled. Like women will walk by me and just smile or wave. I smiled back, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? Like, I remember like the policemen walked by and they just were looking at me and they nodded their head. I was just like, the kids were just sitting there looking at me in the restaurant, and like, I remember one kid offered me his chip, and I was just like, this is like nothing that I've heard before. Never heard anything like this before. Everyone was always trying to tell me, don't do it. And it kind of goes to show you that so many people are wrong about it. So many experiences, the experience of your trip is a mindset that you have before you even go there. For me, the biggest breakthrough for me while traveling was understanding that people are curious, people are gonna look. And if you invite them saying hello, and you'll see so many people will just say hi back to you. They're just curious. And this is like one of the main things. And you know, I will end this story my experience on a story that I have from Kalisz, Poland, and I will never forget this story as long as I live. I had been in Poland. People know me in Poland. This is a few months ago, actually. This is about 8 months ago. And I remember I was sitting having breakfast in the square in Kalisz in Poland, western part of Poland. And I remember sitting there, and as I was sitting there, hold on, we're gonna go for a walk. Or maybe wait for the sun. I remember sitting there in Kalisz, Poland, and this lady walked over to me. She saw me sitting by myself. I wasn't really saying anything. I wasn't really bothering anyone. And she walked over to me and she was like, "Hi, excuse me, where are you from?" Spoke to me in English, and I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm from America." And she was just like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you happy in Poland?" I was like, "Yeah, I love Poland. I'm coming here all the time. I'm living here the last 3 months." She's like, "Really?" She's like, "Well, can you talk to my husband, please?" And I was sitting there like, "What?" So she took out her phone, and she's like, "Oh, because my husband, he's black and he's here and he's just so worried. He just stays in the house all the time." And I remember she FaceTimed her husband and gave me the phone, and he was just like, "Bro, I can't believe you're out. What are you doing? You should get to safety, get inside." Like paraphrasing what he was saying. And I was just like, man, I was like, I love Poland. Just walk out, walk around, say hi to people. The right people will say something to you. And if they don't say anything, then you just know that that's not a person you want to talk to, which makes it even better for you. And I remember like the almost fear this person had, and the mindset, it's the mindset before you even go there. Just understand, like, I understood people were curious about me, and I was just like, well, let me just go and talk to these people. And that was kind of my mindset. People stare, but it's not a bad thing. My best experiences, my best stories have been some late nights of grappa, going down the Grand Canal in Italy, amazing stories of hiking to the castle in Montenegro with a bunch of people, and then hiking down to the beach in the middle of the night, having rakia. I've had stories of an Ivano-Frankivsk, and I've had stories in Ukraine where I've been in just the main square of Lviv and met some people, and we just had vodka and laughed and joked all the time using a translator. All these places that people told me would be horrible. Poland, I have thousands of stories. I'm writing a book about the different stories that I have in Poland right now. So many of them from just arriving and not knowing anyone to all of a sudden people just were stopping me everywhere because they saw me before or heard about me. And the story, and it goes on, but none of that would have happened if I would have had that mindset of just like, they hate me, they're not gonna like me. It was so much about mindset, and I hope that watching this video clears things up for you, taken from me at the moment, living here in beautiful, beautiful Bali, as they've just opened up the beach. And I hope that it inspires you guys to go out and understand that don't listen to what people say all the time. Take their warning, but understand, is this a fear? As I talk about the mastermind, join the mastermind if you guys aren't in it, you'll understand all of this. Is this a fear that I'm feeling, or is this danger? And 99% of the time, 96% of the time, it's a fear of how you're gonna be perceived, a fear of how they're gonna treat you. There's not a danger there. There wasn't a danger. And I say all that because from my perspective, me being a very big black guy, and big smile though, so people aren't as scared of me, but from my experience, I've had such a great time traveling. I love it. I've been traveling the last, I think it's been 14 months. And I wouldn't do it any other way. I wouldn't want to look any other way. I wouldn't want to be any other way. I've loved my experience. I've loved the people that I've met. I've loved that because I've stood out, it's brought me much more attention than I could have imagined, made it much more easier to meet people. And I mean, it goes on and on. I have so many things that I could say about it, but I just wanted to share a little bit of what it's like for me being black and traveling overseas. And yeah, as I said, now it's been about 14 months of traveling and in a row, and I love it. I love it. I live for it, and I love inspiring other people who are curious about it, but just have to get over that little last bit of fear that they have. But overall, it's been an amazing experience. I hope this video sheds some light for you guys. I hope that it inspires you guys to get out, to travel, to understand that so many people are nice. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe any negative comments that are under this video. I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't advise you guys to do it if I really didn't believe in it. And when you give people, a country, a city, a chance, and you go in there with the right mindset, it'll be the most amazing experience. And that's what my experience has been. I don't even know how many countries later, a lot of sunsets, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs. This has been the last few years of my life, but I want to say a big thank you, and not even a big thank you, but a big, yeah, a big thank you for having you all come here. And maybe the last little bit I'll say of this long rant of a video, my biggest following on this channel, I would say, is from Poland, a place that I was once scared to death to go visit, a place I hadn't heard of, a place I had no idea what was it about, how would it be. And that became my biggest following. That became the reason, and that gave me the confidence, that gave me the income, the following to be able to travel full time. Started with that little bit of confidence that I got from Poland. So let that be an example to you. Watch some of my Polish videos that have 500,000 views, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. Watch some of these videos. Read the comment section. See how nice people can be. Look at my Ukraine videos or any of these and read the comments and see how friendly some of the people are. Ignore the rude comments and all that, but see how friendly people are and how happy people are. And that should be enough to help inspire you guys to get out there, to travel, regardless of your color, regardless of your race, to understand we're all people, we're all here in this human experience, we're all together. There will be some people who are rude and horrible, but there'll be people who are amazing that can change your whole life, your whole experience. So get out there, travel, and from here in Bali, where the beach does, I know, need to be cleaned up, I'm going for a walk. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment, any other videos you want to see, topics, anything, leave me a message, a comment down below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And everyone, always remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.